I flew close air support for Marine ground troops in contact with the enemy and watched medevac helicopters come into hot landing zones, getting shot at, getting hit, and occasionally getting shot down. And I witnessed that time and again. Amazing people, just amazing people.
You had to go down there with your rockets and the bombs and the napalm and make those attacks yourself. And it was point blank trying to get in there, and you see people day after day go up just as committed to doing that, even though they know there's a good chance of getting hit. They were doing it because the people on the ground needed that kind of support, and that's part of the teamwork.
When all my men fell, I fell beside them, and I'm grateful that I had that opportunity to bleed with my men. I could not have stood it if they had died and I'd been back there because I was an officer. It doesn't work that way.
When you're there in the heat of battle, you're not thinking about patriotism, you're not thinking about country, you're not thinking about lofty values. You're fighting for your buddies.
I was on a movement with 1st Recon Battalion, Bravo Company, and I was serving as an assistant team leader with 1st Platoon. And during the movement, we were ambushed, and I was struck by a rocket-propelled grenade.
It blew his left arm off, shot through, destroyed the weapon in his hand, and blew his right arm off. He received fragmentation to the face. He had a compound fracture of his leg. His femur was sticking through, rapidly losing blood. Retracts back into the vehicle, looks down, see he doesn't have any hands.
Okay, how am I going to put a tourniquet on my leg without hands? And how am I going to pull the trigger to return fire? You know, those things I couldn't physically do myself, but what I could still do is execute orders and supervise. And, you know, that didn't stop the enemy from firing at me. They were still firing at us, and we had to fight our way out of that kill zone. Our corpsmen got to me, they patched me up, kept me going until the medevac chopper came, and they got me out of there.
Not too long after he regained consciousness, Major General Jones came in and was talking to him and said, "My God, how could you not go into shock after suffering such horrible wounds?" And he looked at the general in the eye and said, "I couldn't go into shock, I was in charge."
A wounded Marine is rescued under heavy enemy fire. His buddy is questioned.
Whatever possessed you to go running off into the paddock like that?
I'm a Marine.
How do you mean?
He's a Marine, I'll take care of him.
Get the people off the road.
When you smell the cordite and the battlefield, the things that go on in the battlefield, was no movie, no soundtrack, the struggle for life and then sometimes death. And only that pride keeps those Marines alive. They make them go when they don't feel like they can go anymore.
It's a love of your fellow Marine and respect of your fellow Marine you uphold, and you would sacrifice most anything for one of your fellow Marines.
Uncommon valor was a common virtue. The mindset of a Marine is that today he may be feeding babies, and tomorrow he could be in fully combat.
And we can do that in a split second. And I tell you what, I saw my Marines do it. We saved countless Iraqi lives, from small babies that were placed in my hands near death, you know, all the way through to injured Marines and sailors on the battlefield. We are no better friend and no worse enemy.
Marines today could equip themselves well in any generation. And the technology they have, the weaponry, tactics, we couldn't touch those guys. I'm proud of them.
They're all looking there with steely eyes about as big as silver dollars, wondering who are they going to pick to go on this mission. They're all standing there waiting and even telling you, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go. No, you went the last 10 times. One of these other guys needs to go. You have those young guys that just say, I'll go, Sergeant Major, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, and you just got to look at this guy and say, wow. Does he have a death wish, or is he just committed? He's just committed.
I take exception to the use of the term former Marine. Former, to me, means one time you were, you are no longer. A Marine's a Marine. He's just in uniform or out. And once he gets through boot camp, he's a Marine for life, and he'll take it right to his grave.